Hello my friends, William Poloniak here from Whole Health Foundation. Today I'm making another garden harvest juice, this time with a couple of golden bell peppers, some French sorrel, and a few other ingredients. Now for my other ingredients I have carrots here. I harvested some sunflower sprouts that I grew in a flat tray, about 5 tomatoes, collard greens, French sorrel of course, ginger, turmeric, and garlic. Now I'll point out again that I'm using the front-loading feed tube. This is an exclusive design of Whole Health Foundation. You will never get blowback up to your ceiling, and I mean never. And I'm also using the near zero blowback cutter that has over 80 teeth put into the 5 cutter blades. So let's put the cutter on. Now after I feed in my ice cubes, I'm going to start with greens and no more than 3 leaves. Roll it into a tube and feed it in. These are collard greens. Now the golden bell peppers, we're going to cut them in halves or even quarters so they'll fit in the feed tube. And I'll feed them in, skin, seeds, and all. I'll put in my tomatoes, but because they're so large I'm going to cut them in half or quarters. When you put tomatoes in, be very careful to keep this covered. It won't shoot up to your ceiling, but it could shoot to your apron. I'm going to alternate my greens with the ginger and the garlic. Some ginger in and then some turmeric. More collard greens. And when you get the jam like that, give it a jump start with the switch. Put in some ice cubes, mix her up over 25, almost 30, 31 now. Remember to clean your grid off, and especially when your motor's working hard. Greens tend to be very fibrous, but especially ginger and turmeric. So we'll assemble, feed in a few ice cubes, and then continue with the rest of my ingredients. Now for the French sorrel until we're done, and then we'll do carrots. Of my greens, the last of my French sorrel. So what I'm going to do next is feed in a couple of carrots, clean my grid, and I'm going to switch to the number 2 grid. So let's put a couple of carrots through just to force the greens pulp all the way through. Now remember to feed ice cubes in frequently to keep your temperature down. Here's the last of my carrots. Now one thing I love about this front-loading feed tube is that you can see in here, and I see that all of my pulp is shred, but I like to get into the habit of putting a couple of fingers full of pulp in there and force anything through I might not see. Now next I'm going to clean the grid and the feed tube and then mix my produce and make some juice. So let's unplug the thermometer, clean any pulp off of the pusher that might be there, and then clean anything off of the cutter, and then I will get a long knife to get the rest of the pulp out of the feed tube. Now I'm cleaning the feed tube, and this cleaning brush comes with all juicers sold by Whole Health Foundation. And if you buy a cleaning brush in your local supermarket, don't get the small one for bottles, get this large one. Now with a wet brush, take the cutter off, clean the front of the juicer, and either with a damp cloth or a spray nozzle like I have, clean the front of the juicer, reassemble, and then we'll mix our produce after we clean. What I do is rotate the bowl in both directions so I get a very, very good mix. Want to mix the carrots with the greens thoroughly. If you had only greens, you'd have to use a bamboo liner, but with carrots in the pulp, you do not need the bamboo liner. Now I'm going to start with a new set of 6 cloths. You can reuse these cloths 3 or 4, maybe even 5 or 6 times until they squirt juice at you. And in another video, I show you how to do laundry for these cloths. Now, I have over 10 sets of 6 cloths because I do laundry every 3 or 4 months. And when you do laundry on cloths, you want to soak them in bleach and then wash them with soap and bleach, and then a second time without soap and without bleach. I'm going to put 2 cloths in the tray right in the center. Centered left to right, centered front to back, all the way back. I'm backing it off a little because I don't want this to go up too fast. When you're on your last cloth, advance that all the way. And you notice I'm getting into a rhythm here, and I'll continue with this rhythm until I'm done with all of the pulp. Now later I might have to put only 2 scoops in these cloths, and I'll show you why. 2 more cloths into the press. Centered left to right, centered front to back. That's very important. All the way back, back it off a little bit. Now, never throw away the pulp. Never, until the very, very end. And I'll tell you why. We're going to make 10% more juice by pressing the pulp again. Now, only 2 scoops on top of this pulp, and maybe later only 1 scoop if this patty gets too thick. Now, I notice my bowl is almost overflowing, so I'm going to stop this, set it back, and before I finish packaging this pulp, I'm going to fill some bottles. Now I'm filling these bottles from the back side just so the camera gets a good look, and I'm going to fill them up to the rim and then add either distilled or filtered water, because this juice is generally too rich and I want to dilute it just a tiny bit. I grew most of this produce myself, but even if you have to buy it, you don't want to waste it. So we'll put this in the sink and clean that a little bit later. Advance that all the way when you're on your last cloth. Now my friends, as you can see, I've repackaged the already spent pulp into 3 double packets. This is pulp that most people would throw away, most people that have not seen my videos, that is. So I'm going to take a measuring beaker and measure how much more juice is left in these packets, and we'll put 2 at a time in the press. There we have 6 ounces. It looks like we're going to get about 8 ounces from 2 sets of repackaged cloths. And I notice that the cloths are still damp around the edges, so I could repackage them again. Now here's one thing almost everyone forgets to do, and that's to clean the edges and the gullies of your juice tray. And I use the juicing cloths for this. You can use a sponge if you want to, but that's one more thing to clean. So what I'm going to do is clean the edges, fold the cloths, and you fold them into thirds just like they came in the package, and then press the water out, put them in the freezer, because in the freezer germs and airborne contaminants cannot grow. So I've already got the rest of these cloths folded. We'll put them in the press and press the water out. There we go, that ought to be enough. We'll put these in a plastic bag and put them in the freezer. Well, my friends, as you can see, we have 5, 10, 15 bottles of juice, and about 1.5 of these bottles came from pressing the already spent pulp by repackaging it. And that's juice that most people would throw away, and enough for a taste test. So let's do a taste test. Well, my friends, here we'll do a taste test. This juice with golden bell peppers, greens, carrots, turmeric, ginger, and garlic. Ah, delicious. The garlic's got a little bit of a bite. Well, I hope you like what you've seen, my friends, and if you do, please tell a friend. If you'd like to buy a juicer or parts to upgrade your juicer, or supplies like cloths and bamboo liners, give me a call at 760 753-0321, or email me at developtrust@cox.net, or go to my webpage, wholehealthfound.com. See you in the next video.